Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and today we have IFBB Pro athlete, published author, and certified trainer Laticia Action Jackson on the show. Welcome, Laticia. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing well. Thank you for asking, Miriam.
You're
Yeah,
most welcome. So,
thank
Laticia, you now have over 12 years of experience in the health, wellness, and fitness industry. But how did it all start?
That's a great question. And I have to tell you, even when I look back and I really try to ask myself, well, how did I get to where I was to where I am? And believe it or not, it all started in the gym. I was stationed at Randolph Air Force Base. And at the time, we had an option to either go to lunch for an hour or work out at the gym. And so I allotted to go to the gym. And in doing so, I ran into a gentleman who was a professional bodybuilder, well known in the Texas area. And he approached me one day and he was like, "You've got great genetics. What do you do?" And I thought to myself, well, I work out just like anyone else. And so he asked me, have you ever thought about competing in fitness? At the time, I had no clue what fitness was. So long story short, I did a little bit of research on my own, and I said to myself, I can do this. And he agreed to train me for 6 months. And on May 1st, 2001, I entered my very first fitness competition and won the entire show.
Wow, amazing. and
Yeah,
yeah, and what drove you towards the competitive circuit, and what have been your biggest learning as a fitness competitor?
I think what drove me to the competitive circuit is that naturally I have always been very energetic, I'm an extroverted person. And the thing about being on the stage is you get to express yourself as an individual through your athleticism and your stage presence. So I would say the very first win kind of catapulted me into this understanding that I was created to do this. And so I made up in my mind that I wanted to become a professional, took a year off and came back. And in 2006, I placed first in my height class and qualified as an IFBB Fitness Pro.
Wow, amazing!
So,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And in between, I actually qualified to become a fitness pro in 2006, but I took 2 years off and I didn't get back on stage until 2008 after my domestic violence, which we'll share later. And so it inspired me because I knew that what I was doing was not only for myself. Other people would approach me and ask me, well, how did you get fit? And I think it was inspirational to see people see my body transform, but not only my body transform, but the dedication and the commitment to myself.
And your
Yeah.
competitive track record demonstrates that you have mastered your craft, but you're also still very much a student of the game and you carry several impressive degrees and titles. Some athletes have a learning by doing approach, but you've combined both. Tell me about that.
I have learned that if I am going to be an expert at something, I didn't want to just do what I was doing and not have the science nor the knowledge behind it. So, yes, and thank you. I do have a master's degree in public health, my undergraduate degrees in exercise physiology, and I have 4 or 5 national and international certifications. I think it's essential to be educated. So when I'm working with clients or working with corporations, not only do I have the physical, but I have the knowledge to go with it. So education is very important.
Yes, I agree. And how
Yeah.
much time do you invest in learning new things? And what's your approach to acquiring new knowledge and skills?
I love learning. I am a nerd. I every week, believe it or not, I challenge myself to learn something new. One of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm a patient health educator for the United States Navy. And one of the things that I'm learning now is how the healthcare system functions because chronic diseases and unhealthy people really determine how our healthcare system is operated. So I'm reading a book right now that's called Quality of Performance by Quint Studer. Every month I read a new book to learn more. So I continually learn on a monthly basis.
And acquiring knowledge is one thing, but you've also been investing a lot of your time and energy in sharing it with others. Tell me about your book, I'm Not a Size Zero. Who is it for, and what is it about, and why did you write it?
I'm not a size zero. I have to tell you, Miriam, every time I speak to someone about that book, especially a woman, I get a laugh or a chuckle. Just hearing that title alone, the first response that I typically get from women, they say, yes, I'm not a size zero either. So the book was actually inspired by my domestic violence. And what happened, I was in a relationship, married, and I was going through a lot of physical, mental, and spiritual abuse. And I would often have women approach me and say to me, if I look like you, or if I lost 5 pounds, or if I had a flat stomach, I really care about myself. And the book, I'm Not a Size Zero, is really emphasizing to women that being fit starts on the inside. You know, I've stood on stages in Europe, I've stood on stages across the United States, but I did not love myself from the inside. So I'm Not a Size Zero is showing women that it's not about the size of your body, it's about how you feel on the inside. And once you're healthy on the inside, you can transform the outside. And that's the premise behind I'm Not a Size Zero.
Oh, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. And you're
Yeah.
also a certified a trainer. Many of the trainers on the show have explained how being a trainer is as much about inspiring your clients as it about being inspired by them. What are some of the most inspirational things you've encountered in working with people on their health and fitness goals?
I have to agree with that statement. You know, oftentimes in the expert role, people believe that you know everything and that you're the only one that gives the inspiration. But over the years, I have worked with so many different clients, and I would have to say, Miriam, every one of them have provided me with something, because each one of them have a different story. I've worked with people who were immobile. They were so overweight they couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. So to have them come to me in that state of being and then assist them, you know, with the tools to get healthier, seeing somebody walk up a flight of steps to other people seem very simplistic, but it's rewarding to know that I had something to do with that person's progress. So the stories are endless. The inspiration is endless. Every client left something with me. I still have clients that I trained 10 years ago that will Skype me or email me on Facebook. So they've inspired me just as well as I've inspired them.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And aside from writing your own book, you've been featured in many of the most prominent health and fitness publications as well as on TV. Imagine you could reach every young girl across the globe on this interview and you could only share one message with them. What would it be?
I would tell them, I have this thing that I do when I mentor young girls, and I have them, Miriam, turn their thumbs over and to look at their thumbprints. So if I could tell any young girl out there today, I want them to turn their thumbs over and look at their thumbprints. And many times when I tell the young girls to do this, they don't understand, but your thumbprints are so unique that no one else on the planet has them. That lets you know how special you are, that you don't have to be like somebody else. So whenever you're comparing yourself to someone else, turn your thumbs over and say, you know what, I am so unique that my creator would not allow anyone else to be created like me. So enjoy yourself, love yourself. That's what I would tell them.
Amazing advice. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And on a personal level, you're a survivor of domestic violence and travel across the US to lecture on the importance of self-acceptance and using fitness and healthy living as tools in doing so. Many people that go through hardship in life admit defeat and give in. How have you break free from this negativity and repurposed it towards something that can inspire and empower others?
I will be honest with you, when I first left my domestic violence situation, there was a lot of shame. And I felt that I'm educated, I'm smart, I have all of these successes, and I was afraid to share my story with people. But one of the things that I determined early on was I was not going to be a victim. Because once a person creates a victim mentality, everything in their life suffers from that. And I made a long time ago, I said, you know, I'm going to learn how to forgive him, first of all, because forgiveness is the first step into individual healing. And once I forgave him and my heart began to heal, I went back to my very first love, which was competing. So when I left my ex-husband, I was in a very dark place, but I went back to the gym. And the gym was a place of serenity and peace for me. And I took all of that negative energy. There were times where I'd be in the gym having a workout and I would cry, but I was determined to let the pain out. I wasn't going to hold it in, but I used that negativity to train harder. I used that negativity to stay focused. And in 2008, on September the 25th, I stepped on the Fitness Olympia stage, the highest level of my field that anyone will ever reach. And I stood proud because I did not allow the negativity of someone else to determine my future. So I took all of that negativity, I made it to the Olympia, I was ranked 8th in the world, I will always be a part of history. And now I teach women that loving yourself is not about how fit your body is. Because I had one of the fittest bodies in the world, but on the inside I was not fit. So now I'm using fitness as a tool to show women when you start to love yourself, you want to get healthier. When you start to love yourself, you want to eat healthier because you know your value. So I just made up in my mind that I'm not a victim.
Thank you so much for sharing, Laticia.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you're also an Air Force veteran and proudly served your country. What has been the most impactful lesson you've learned during that chapter of your life?
Wow, that is a great question. I think I learned that no matter what life brings you, is about your perception of it. When I was in the military, I went through a lot of different trials. And once again, I see a pattern in my life that life teaches you only if you want to learn. And I learned a lot in the Air Force. I learned about discipline. I learned about self-sacrifice. And I learned about being unified with people from all walks of life. So when November 11th comes every year, I'm proud to say, you know what, I served my country. And when I mentor young girls now, I tell them the same thing. Have a plan. You know, even if you don't want to stay in the military for a while, it provides you with a very good life. So I'm grateful to have served my country, and I'm grateful for the lessons I learned.
Where can people go to learn more about you and connect with you online?
Absolutely. They can go to LaticiaActionJackson.com. That is my new website. They can follow me on Facebook and on Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest at Action Jackson PT.
Right, and I will also make sure to put all your links below this video.
Yes, yes. And I thank you for interviewing me. It's a pleasure to be able to reach real women and have real conversations.
You're most welcome. And Laticia, is there anything else you would like to talk about today that you feel we've missed?
I think you've been very thorough. I mean, I think if anything, I have created a new tagline for my mission, and the tagline is defining your worth beyond the scale. I would like for women to find something every day that they find to be magnificent about themselves, and it's not attached to their weight. So that is my challenge for every woman out there that watches this video. Find what makes you magnificent, and it has nothing to do with your body weight, or it has to do with your appearance. So define your worth beyond the scale.
Thank you so much for your time, Laticia. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi. For more inspiration, check out our website at realtalkrealwomen.com.